So in today's video, we're going to discuss CIS mortgages. So what is a CIS mortgage? CIS stands for Construction Industry Scheme. Now there isn't technically a CIS mortgage tailored for that scheme as such. However, there are mortgage lenders that have criteria in place which is better suited to CIS workers than not. So in the mortgage world, CIS workers are treated differently from lender to lender. Now CIS workers, they are like other subcontractors where they are self-employed technically. They do submit tax returns to HMRC, but some lenders treat them very differently and they almost treat them in a similar way to employed applicants. So the reason why CIS workers are treated by some lenders in a similar way to employed workers is because of the way their tax is paid to HMRC. Now, with CIS workers, you've got a subcontractor who will work for a larger contracting company, but the contracting company, they're the ones that will then deduct the tax payments from the invoice payable to the subcontractor. So the contractor is effectively paying the tax in a similar way to pay-as-you-go for employed applicants at source. So a lot of mortgage lenders, there's quite a few on the market that will treat CIS workers in a similar way to employed and just need to see invoices over the last 3 months to assess their mortgage affordability. Whereas other mortgage lenders, for self-employed applicants, their criteria is quite strict and they need to at least have normally 2 years of self-employed accounts on file. So CIS workers can really benefit from this, and it means they only need to have invoices over, say, a 3-month to 6-month period as proof of income to qualify. So who is eligible for the CIS mortgage criteria? Anyone who has registered with the CIS scheme through the government can then obviously access the CIS scheme and benefit from this mortgage criteria. If you're not a CIS worker and you're a typical contractor, sadly you would still be classed as self-employed and need to submit your tax calculations and tax year overviews to the lender to review. So how much can you borrow as a CIS worker? Being a CIS worker, it doesn't mean you're going to borrow any more or any less. As I said before, it just changes how lenders view your income. A lot of lenders, they'll lend a maximum of 4.5 or 5 times your salary as an employed person. As a CIS worker, as I said before, sometimes you'll be treated in a similar way to employed people. So if you look at your last 12 invoices over a year, perhaps timesing that by 4.5 or maybe 5 times will give you an idea of the very maximum that a lender may be able to lend to you. Obviously, there's other things to consider, such as financial commitments, term period, adverse credit, your expenditure. There's lots of factors that can affect how much you can borrow, but that's a general rule of thumb. So what deposit do CIS workers need when applying for a mortgage? Being a CIS worker doesn't change a lender's deposit requirements. You'll still need to have at least a 5% deposit as a minimum to access a mortgage. But bear in mind, if you do deposit just 5%, you'll then need to qualify for the remaining 95% on a mortgage through your income and financial commitments. But that's a bare minimum. If you continue to deposit more, you can access potentially better interest rates, and then this stops once you deposit 40%. So after 40%, you can no longer access better interest rates. Just bear that in mind. So how does having bad credit affect CIS workers applying for a mortgage? The adverse credit criteria with mortgage lenders doesn't change for CIS workers. So if you do have bad credit, it just means that a mortgage broker is going to need to source the whole market to find a lender suitable for your requirements. And hopefully they can tailor for your CIS income in a more preferential way than other mortgage lenders that may look at you as self-employed. The likes of Halifax are a really good high street lender for CIS workers at the moment, and they can kind of treat your income in a similar way to employed applicants. So it's something to bear in mind. For more information on CIS mortgages, contact Boon Brokers. Submit an inquiry through our website, and one of our fee-free whole-of-market mortgage brokers would be more than happy to help you.